It's like the building went boom.
A mysterious boom felt across the county. The one thing we have learned, it wasn't.
A man found bleeding to death in a car in South Crest. The big unanswered questions about what happened.
And an unusual number of sea lion rescues this winter in San Diego. How the weather may be to blame.
But first, a former fashion designer convicted of raping a woman is suing Donovan State Prison. Good evening. I'm Steve Atkinson.
And I'm Kimberly Hunt. Anon John Alexander claims he was stabbed and beaten by a fellow inmate. 10 News reporter Matt Boone is joining us now with the lawsuit that claims that Alexander's time in prison did not go well.
Well, this was big news back in 2008, 2009. This up-and-coming fashion designer was sentenced to 59 years in prison for rape and other felony counts. He's currently here at Donovan State Prison, and earlier this year he says he was brutally beaten.
Anon John Alexander says he was stabbed in the face and beaten by a fellow inmate while waiting to make a phone call at Donovan State Prison back in May. According to details revealed in a new lawsuit, he sustained various facial fractures and suffers from long-term vision impairment and PTSD. His life now is worlds away from the mid-2000s, when he quickly established himself as a designer for the stars, frequently seen in public with groups of young women wearing his clothes. But in 2007, an aspiring model accused him of rape, with more alleged victims coming forward in California, Texas, and New York. Most of the charges were dismissed, but in 2008 he was convicted on one count of rape and several other counts of sexual assault in Los Angeles, sentenced to 59 years behind bars. Throughout it all, Alexander has maintained his innocence. He's been at Donovan State Prison since 2014. In the lawsuit, he claims prison officials failed to protect him from harm by placing him, a level 2 inmate, in the same yard as a level 4 inmate. The lawsuit claims the attack against Alexander was racially motivated, saying the alleged assailant is a known white supremacist. The lawsuit is requesting a jury trial and is seeking unspecified monetary damages.
Now, we've reached out to the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation for a comment, but haven't heard back yet. Meantime, Alexander's case is being reviewed by a federal district judge. Alexander and his supporters saying he's been wrongfully convicted.
Matt, thank you.
All right, I'm Derek Stahl in the 10 News Live Center with breaking news. Right now, San Diego police are investigating a robbery where the crooks made off with $2,000 cash. Police say a victim, went to a bank in Claremont, put $2,000 in a backpack, and then drove to a Trader Joe's in the Mira Mesa area. This Trader Joe's is just off of the 15, and that's where police say more than 2 suspects pulled up in a car and robbed this victim at gunpoint. They then got away. This all happening just about 45 minutes ago. No one was hurt. The victim believes that these suspects followed him from Claremont to the Mira Mesa area. In the Live Center, I'm Derek Stahl, 10 News.
Derek, thank you. Tonight, police are looking for clues after a man was found bleeding to death in his car. The man was found around noon near 41st Street and Boston Avenue, not far from the South Crest Rec Center. Investigators have a 3-block radius blocked off. They got a call just before noon about a possible car accident, but when they arrived, they found a man bleeding from the head in the car. He died at the scene and has not been identified. Police are now looking for 3 teenagers who witnesses say were the victim and walked by into a nearby park just before he was found.
We have a 10 News follow-up now. We are hearing from loved ones of the Camp Pendleton Marine killed by a wrong-way driver on the 5 yesterday. 19-year-old Matt Adams just flew back to San Diego after spending time with family in Utah. He was driving back to Camp Pendleton when he was hit head-on by Christian Zarita, who was speeding away from police in the wrong direction. Adam's brother is heartbroken.
I'd say one of the lucky ones. I got to tell him how much I loved him and how much I cared about him, and I tried my best to tell him every time I got the chance.
Coming up at 7 o'clock, you'll hear from Adam's girlfriend about the call from him that never came.
All right, turning now to our weather and a live look outside. It is dry tonight, a gorgeous night, but another round of rain is heading our way. Our meteorologist, Angelica Campos, is here with a look at when it should arrive. Angelica.
Hi, Steve. Of course, since we started the winter season with two very powerful systems, our perception of rain changes, but it's going to be mostly light for tomorrow, especially towards the end of the day. We're starting to see changes visibility-wise, low clouds dropping, and that also dropping visibility down to 4 miles in Carlsbad and Oceanside. And it could continue to lower into tomorrow morning, just like it did this morning and yesterday. This storm is moving through the Pacific Northwest, but is a cold front that brings a chance for rain. It's also going to bring some gusty winds for our mountains specifically, and this wind advisory will begin tomorrow at 7 p.m. through Friday morning. That's also the period that will be the wettest all around the county. I'll pinpoint how much is on the way.
Angelica, thank you. You can stay on top of the weather on the go by downloading the free 10 News app. You can access the Pinpoint Doppler and check out our video forecast.
Happening right now, Mayor Kevin Faulconer is about to deliver his final State of the City address. This is a live look at the event downtown. The mayor has yet to take the stage. Faulconer is expected to speak at length about housing and homelessness in San Diego. We'll have highlights of the mayor's speech on later editions of 10 News. And we are trying to track down a mysterious boom heard throughout San Diego County. People from the border to Del Mar reported hearing the noise about 12:45 today.
It was a jump. It's like the building went boom, like that.
We checked, it was not an earthquake. We also contacted the military to see if they were doing any exercises, and we have not yet heard back.
There has been a huge jump in local flu deaths. Another 9 people died in the county last week, bringing this season's total to 20. The new deaths, they ranged in age from 45 to 88. All had underlying medical conditions, except for one person, a 57-year-old woman. There were also 2,000 cases last week. By comparison, there were just 510 flu cases during the same week last year. Overall, we have had nearly 3 times as many cases this season compared to last. Of course, your best defense is the flu shot. We have a list of where you can get one on 10news.com under the red button.
All of the schools that had jet fuel dumped on them yesterday in LA were back open today. The FAA is now investigating why a Delta flight with engine problems dumped its fuel over a densely populated area during an emergency return. The FAA says the Delta crew never told air traffic controllers they needed to dump fuel, which is standard procedure. And none of the students or staff doused by the fuel was seriously hurt. An ocean mystery on our shoreline. There's been a spike this winter in the number of sea lions needing to be rescued. As 10 News reporter Michael Chen found out, the sea lions in distress are younger than expected.
So this is our last quarantine area.
These sea lions in SeaWorld's rehab area look drastically different than they did when Jennifer Zarate first saw them.
Most of the pups that are coming in are just emaciated and dehydrated.
Zarate, a senior animal care specialist, says since early December, SeaWorld has rescued 25 sea lions along our coastline.
It's definitely a little concerning.
That is about 3 times the amount they normally see. Usually rescue season begins in March, so these rescues are coming early. And those needing rescuing this winter are younger than normal. The cause is a mystery.
We've had some really big swells.
But Zarate says those early winter storms could be playing a role. The big swells may be tiring the pups out, causing them to burn too many calories. The weather may also be impacting their food sources.
So the winter storms may be pushing the schools of fish out further than the sea lion pups can actually get to. And so that's probably the reason why they maybe not be able to find as much fish as they normally would.
After being rescued by SeaWorld, the pups now doing well.
So medical tests haven't turned up anything else unusual, and they've been gaining back their weight as expected.
Next week, the first 3 of those recently rescued will be released. Michael Chen, 10 News.
They look and sound good now. SeaWorld says the coastline in Orange County has also seen an increase in sea lion rescues.
We are getting a look at San Diego State's proposed river park in Mission Valley. The school released new images today showing what the Mission Valley project looks like now, property looks like now, what it's going to look like once everything is done. The plan includes hiking and bike trails, 6 multi-purpose fields, basketball courts, kids' play areas, ping pong tables, a dog park, a skate park, even a hillside amphitheater. Those who live and work near Mission Valley say they are excited to see things happening, but they're also weary about the traffic this is going to bring.
The traffic's going to be a nightmare because if you come here in the evening, 4 to 5, it's all gridlocked from here all the way to 15.
If everything goes according to plan, San Diego State hopes the entire park will be ready by August of 2023.